Hi, Miranda. How you doing? It is tough. Absolutely, it is tough. But like everything else, and you've heard me say this a few times now in the class, and you're going to hear me say it a few more times before the end of the class, but the sketching stage is very, very, very important to the design process because as we start sketching, ideas start springboarding. There have been many psychological studies regarding the idea generation process as it relates to design. And the studies specifically I'm referring to are how the idea generation process is successful based on whether the designer goes straight to the computer to generate ideas or goes to the sketch pad. And study after study after study shows that students and designers that sketch first are more able to generate ideas more rapidly and more ideas and more often. So that's really an interesting thing to think about as a designer. Now, when I was in my master's program, I did for my master's thesis, part of the research, I did some experiments in a live classroom setting. And in my classrooms, I set up two groups. I did 4 or 5 different studies and yielded the exact same result. The group, I split the class into, given the identical assignment. One group was told to go directly onto the computer and start concepting. The other group was not allowed to go to the computer until they had sketched out all their ideas to near completion. 99, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say 100% of the results in my particular study indicated that the students that went to sketch first were better able to generate ideas, more interesting ideas, more engaging ideas, and a more complete execution of the project. And even the group, and then when all was said and done, I put the two groups together, I put the work up, and even the group members that were part of the group that were required to go directly on the computer as opposed to sketching, every group member, bar none, said, yeah, their results are better. And that's just one small example. The reason I'm bringing those up, you're probably wondering, is the sketch stage. So you mentioned that your drawing by hand is difficult. That's okay. You don't have to be a great sketch artist to be a great designer. All you have to do is to be able to express your ideas and communicate your ideas visually with a sketch. Okay. And if you're not a great sketch artist, it's always perfectly acceptable to leave little notes as to what you're saying. And I think you've done this very well. So that's great. So just always remember moving forward that it's not the quality of the sketches. It's the communicated value of the sketches. And that doesn't even depend on the sketch, the skill level associated with sketching. It depends on being able to communicate. And as I said, if you feel like your sketching skills are a little bit lacking, go ahead and label the work. And I think, like I said, I think you've done that very well here. Okay, so anyways, enough of that, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the work. Okay, so earbuds as a hair tie, good. Handcuffs to lock a bike, that's a good one. I think these are all great. A spoon for a hook on a coat rack, excellent. I love this. A fork for the curtain stays, the curtain tiebacks. I love that idea. I think it's great. Hairbrush as a back scratcher. I think we've all done that. I really do. I know I have. Okay, using a comb to clean a paintbrush, that's a good one. Oven mitts as real mittens for a snowball fight, and using food as paint, which paint, I mean, if you look at I'm going to show you what a geek I am right now, but if you look at the history of paint and pigment, most of it was originated from food. So that's very interesting as well. All right. Now, if you've looked at any of the other videos, video critiques, I'm not going to direct you to go in a specific direction. I want you to make your decision based on the following. I'm using this example and this example. And the point that I'm going to make here is that before you decide which direction to go in, you really want to think this out in terms of how you're going to tell the story. So in other words, you have to set the story up, define the problem, give some possible solutions, give the aha moment, implementation, and then actual practice, and then the final outcome. Okay, so you're really setting this up so you can look at it. I mean, you have to take a look at this. You got to say, this is a really easy story to follow. There's not one point of confusion in here anywhere. And the same thing with this one. So my point that I'm saying is, before you decide which direction you're going to go, take a look at these and really determine to yourself how you're going to set the narrative up. To a very high degree, that's going to determine the success of this project. So please feel free to move forward in the direction that you feel has the most potential, and really, really start thinking about how you're going to tell the story in a very complete and compelling way. All right, great job. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.